it turns out that we now find out that the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, part of the government, NOAA, had done best-case scenarios and worst-case scenarios for how much oil would be spilled into the Gulf during the disaster. And here's what apparently the White House did according to an internal investigation. They blocked the worst-case scenarios from being public. I mean, that's an old Bush trick, right? They're like, oh, science, interesting. Well, we like this part of the science. We don't like that part of the science. So that's eliminated. You're not allowed to make that public, okay? Now, look, part of it, you can say, hey, I understand. They're trying to do damage control. They're in a bad spot here. People are blaming them for the spill. It's politics 101 to not panic people and say, oh, here's the worst-case scenarios. That's the very generous way of looking at it. Now, but when you look at the totality of it, here's some of the issues. Like, for example, it turns out the NOAA knew that we were spilling about 2.7 to 4.6 million gallons per day. Now, what did the government put out as this official estimate? They said that we were spilling, let me get the exact number for you guys. Oh, yes, 210,000 gallons a day. 210,000 versus the reality of 2.7 to 4.8 million, 4.6 million. You know what that means? That means the reality was 10 to 20 times worse than what the government was telling you. Now, if the government had done the spill, I'd understand it even more because I'd say, all right, look, they're, again, trying to cover their ass. It's not right, but it, it's logical. But here, the government didn't do the spill. BP did. So, which then makes you think, why is the United States government, with a Democratic president, covering up for a multinational corporation, not even an American corporation, who's at fault here? Why are they doing their bidding for them? And that's a question we often ask, right? Because unfortunately, the politicians here have internalized that corporations are always good and always must be protected under any circumstance. If they did a spill, then I did the spill. I'm going to cover for them. No, they're only spilling 210,000 gallons. Look away, everybody. Everything's going to be all right. Look, it would have been a great opportunity for President Obama to say, hey, you see, this is why we need regulation. We don't need to over-regulate, but we do need cops to come in here and say, they're not doing this right, they're not taking the right safety precautions, and look at how much oil could spill into the Gulf. As much as 4.6, actually their worst case estimate was 6.8 million gallons, right? So he could have used those same numbers to make a point that was progressive and that made the Democratic case. Instead, he did the exact opposite and he covered up for, I was about to say corporate America, but again, it's not America, for a multinational corporation. Why did he do that? Because unfortunately, it's in his nature. He's an establishment guy. And so when we get upset about that, the people in Washington are flummoxed by it. They're like, what? You think Obama's pro-business? What? And they're like, no, you crazy libs or whatever. Well, then explain this. Why are they covering for BP? Doesn't make any sense. So now they're in trouble because they were part of the cover-up. Ridiculous.